wishing all the best of health for the new year and all that is good. Even though that there may be challenges, let's hope for the best. Well, last year was, in general, very challenging for workers and for our organization, in the sense that the struggle of the masses, the struggle of the workers, is an ongoing process. So, with collective leadership and vision, and thank God that our ancestors did pave the way by their struggles for us to enjoy a certain liberty within the workers' movement. And that is the establishment of the International Labour Organization, the ILO, and the tripartite setting, or the social dialogue, which came about, and where treaties, international conventions, and agreements between labor, government, and employers' organization that would make these challenges more compatible with the working environment and the workplace, that workers can stand up for their rights, demand their rights through collective labor agreements or through understanding between parties that each person or each organization or each group or each entity are equal partners and deserve to be respected accordingly. So, saying that, our challenges was to maintain that principle of tripartism, social dialogue, and respect for workers' rights. There are always employers who would want to undermine those principles. And as you know, government comprised of politicians who, for reasons known and unknown, tends to take the sides of the employer. So trade unions, workers' organizations must be strong, and the strength is the unity of the workers and the collective leadership that is important to accomplish our goals and maintain those fundamental principles agreed upon by parties. So as we travel through the months of the year up to September, we have had some companies that disregard workers' rights, and there are others who respected workers' rights. Those who disregarded the workers' rights, we had to take to the government mediator to mediate between those deadlock situations and disputes between unions and the employers. We had this interruption now, whereby the hurricane stepped in, and many employers unlawfully, disregarding the rights of the workers, made some decisions which put workers in jeopardy in terms of their livelihood and taking care of themselves and their family, which is a violation of workers' rights when it comes to the ILO Convention on Decent Work. And that convention clearly indicates, as parties agreed upon, that is employers' organization internationally, government and employees' organization, that this convention on decent work means that every worker has a right to work and earn not a minimum wage, but a living wage, whereby he can take care of himself, his family, and make tangible contributions to his society. So when we saw after the hurricane where some employers, without consultation, without deliberation with workers' organizations and with the employees, cut salary, cut work days, which eventually mean the cutting of salary. Those are grave violations of human rights, workers' rights, and also against the laws of our land, the laws of St. Martin. The challenges that many of these companies are now facing court cases. At the same time, those who were unorganized, that is non-unionized workers, they even face a greater dilemma because if they become helpless, they feel hopeless, and most of them just reverse back into what we call psychological oppression and depression caused from these unlawful decisions by the employers. We do hope that court cases which are pending will revindicate the workers' rights. And if an employer wishes to end the working relationship with his or her employee, we have legal procedures which they should follow, and that should be done. Employers who have arbitrarily stopped paying workers, cut their work week, thereby cutting their salaries, that's wrong, totally wrong, against all human rights, all legislations, all of the rights of the workers to decent work as outlined by the ILO Convention. So those challenges we are facing, and we are up to those challenges, and we do hope that, like I said earlier, that the workers' rights be acknowledged and be maintained by the court of law. In looking into the future, it's also important to note that technology has changed the work environment and the workplace. Thereby, many employees who enjoy work prior to Lewis, and whereby companies will now have to renovate or rebuild, the introduction of new technologies into the workplace will be even a greater challenge for re-employment for those workers who have to be re-employed. Therefore, employees must open themselves for training, retraining, to acquire either new skills or upgrade their skills. For this 2018, WIFL, through its training institute, have already put in place a program, a plan, with regards to training, retraining, upgrading, and motivating employees to acquire these new skills. There are some resorts. As you know, we represent many of the hotels in hospitality. We have been talking to a number of resorts and encouraging them to, as much as possible, employ employees in the reconstruction phase of their renovation or rebuilding. Especially, we point out that maintenance department, security department, those who have their own security department, landscaping, those departments that we feel should be involved in the reconstruction phase that we are now going into. We know that the housekeeping section, and mainly women, will be affected greatly. But we also have some women who, if they are given the opportunity or given the challenge, they have the ability to also acquire technical skills, new skills accordingly. But in general, we are encouraging, and we are getting, let me say, 50-50% response towards our proposal. We are working towards that, and we have had a discussion with other entities, and we hope that that will become a reality for this coming year. The future of St. Martin with regards to our industry will take visionary leadership. And in saying that, over the past years, our education system has not been geared or tailored for our economy. And that's why we have so many unemployment among our youths. So if we don't have people in leadership with a vision to make sure that the technical vocation, skills, and education that is required for our type of industry, then we are making a big mistake in terms of what we are saying we hope for and planning for the future. So education is vital, is the key to our future. And the training of our young people, that's relevant to accomplish this long-term desire, view, or if we have vision for the future, that vision. As a workers' organization, WIFL has been doing its part. Since 2004, we have established a training institute where we have been training, retraining, upgrading employee skills, in particular our members, so that they can move up into the respective companies that they work. We have seen successful results as far as that is concerned. But on a broader perspective, that has to be the goal of our leadership. A number of things happen which show the lack of vision among that group of what we call our leadership, political leadership. Action taken like destroying the marketplace in Phillipsburg, and now we see where people are being put back, rushed back in conditions which are not according to ILO Convention. Occupational health and safety doesn't meet that standard.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more, however you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right, get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah, right. Accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NV.
However, these people need to earn a living, earn an income. And so We hope that those kind of mistakes don't happen in the future. We do hope that the rebuilding of the different resorts go ahead as was indicated to us by those investors or those employers, and that there be no handicap situations along the way, no hiccups, no stalling, and that within the shortest possible period of time that people can find themselves back on the job. But, as I said earlier, technology has been changing work. So employees seeking to be re-employed must understand that they have to upgrade their skills and acquire new skills if they're going to fit in the right perspective.
Now, Thompson, you know that they have an election that is coming up. Well, the postulation day is going to be Friday coming. What kind of message would you want to say to those new politicians that is going to be running on this to be able to assist in helping you getting people back to their job, because the employment is very high at this particular point? Do you have a direct message that you would like to say to them so that they could focus on, especially having a vision?
Let me say this, that St. Martin is part of the Caribbean archipelago, the Caribbean setting, the Caribbean group of islands. We have a history, and it extends from the invasion of the Caribbean by Europeans, the colonization, and the fighting of our enslaved ancestors for liberation. That has to be known and understood by our political leaders. You got to know who you are, where you came from, where you're at, and where you're heading to. In saying that, one must understand that this is a system in which we are part of. It is called a democratic system. And therefore, the new politicians, the new breed of political leaders, got to know the history. You got to know that the trade union movement in the whole Caribbean were the pioneers for liberation, for emancipation. The United Nations in the year 1960, all of the colonizers, all of the countries that are in Europe that had colonies all over the world, they agreed that by the year 2000, there should be no more colonies in the world. Every colony should be self-governing. That wasn't accomplished. It was extended to 2010. 2010, all colonies didn't acquire that self-governing. They all agreed again that by the year 2020, there should be no more colonies in the world. Every colony should be self-governing. Now, self-governing, some people call it independence. I prefer to use the terminology that the United Nations use and those colonial powers agreed to. That the obligation of those colonizers is to prepare. They have a major responsibility, and that is good governance. While the local leadership, political leadership, has even a larger role to play to point out infrastructural development that their different territories need to acquire. It means that, and when you talk about infrastructural development, it covers a very wide area. So you must understand that definition. Education, healthcare, democracy and its institutions, if you want to include now roads, to use a simple term, if you want to use harbor, airport, those are areas that your economy should be centered around in terms of eliminating and avoiding poverty and make sure decent work comes into play. So the quest to become a politician shouldn't be because somebody asks you to be on their party list, or because you're a friend, or because you might have, let's say, a loud mouth in the community. But the criteria and the qualification that you yourself should make an assessment of yourself and say, am I competent to be in this arena? And therefore, that's one of the handicap that we see. That's why we have every now and then jumping our ship, as we call it, the overthrowing of government, the falling of government, because it's not for the interests of the country, but for personal interests. So, to be more specific to your question, I have to give that elaborate outline, because it's important. That person or persons, whether he or she, must have those qualities and must possess that knowledge. The trade union movement in the Caribbean, from that proclamation by the UN in '60, you see those countries begin to acquire, in some places they call it statehood, then independence. In the Netherlands Antilles, Aruba acquired that status, and the next step was towards independence. To date, that never happened. As a matter of fact, the Netherlands Antilles was so advanced than all the other islands in the Caribbean in terms of moving forward. In 1954, the Netherlands Antilles acquired a status collectively, and the next step was towards self-government. That never happened. Instead, it was dismantled. When Britain saw that the Dutch territories in the Caribbean had acquired that autonomous position, in 1960, they established what was called the West Indian Federation. That collapsed a year after. The Netherlands Antilles continued until Aruba left. And in 2010, it was totally dismantled. So instead of we going forward, we have gone a few steps backward. So the challenge for our future leaders is to understand the dynamics of the Caribbean. And I'm saying this because the trade union movement has been the forerunner prior to '60.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 Fun Mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of fun miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to my card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free fun miles with first use. Switch to my card today at WIB.
Fun miles, fun within your reach.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
1,
2,
3,
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4,
4.
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
And 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look out for the warning signs of your illness. Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2.
3.
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.